Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Game Ball podcast stream. I'm your host, Mark. We're back with the news hour for technically October 13th, 2025. We're recordings obviously as we do every Sunday night. It is the 12th. For those of you listening to it on podcast services and watching on YouTube, it is the 13th. So happy Indigenous Peoples Day. I'm off from work, but I also took this week off vacation, so I get 8 hours back, baby. Yeah. Than I thought I would. But, yeah, so we're here. Some house cleaning up front. We have our Extra Life campaign going on. It is tinyurl.com/GVP, as in Game Vault Pod. Extra Life, the number 10. Once again, it's tinyurl.com/GVP. Extra Life, the number 10. And then for those of you in the Twitch chat, I popped it up there for you as well, as you can see to my left. Yeah, so we're so if you did not listen to Tom's stream on Thursday, because we got confirmation then, we are still doing Saturday, November 8th. Probably going to start like 8 a.m. instead of 9 a.m. because the second job I have running the scoreboard for a junior college basketball team, they have 2 games on the 8th starting at noon. So I'm going to do like 2.5 hours from 8 to 10:30. And then Tom's going to jump in. Now, I told him he can jump in anytime between 10:30 and when I get back at 4. Like, he does not need to just follow me. So I would keep a lookout for that. That might be a game day decision where exactly he starts. But just know that I will be gone at 10:30. Tom will fill in somewhere in that gap or the whole gap. And then I'll be back about 4:30 to finish out probably go to like 2 in the morning, I would imagine. Do another 10 hours, maybe more. We'll just see. We're not going to do 24. I'm not going to stay up any later than probably like 4. You know, you get like 14 hours out of me, maybe. But yeah, so that's the 8th. We're still working on the details for our in-person get together. Again, you'll probably know about that like the day or two before. But note that every Saturday in November, we'll be doing some extra streams that are not the usual Trails streams or whatever I'm playing at that point if I had beaten Trails by then. So we'll be doing some extra stuff. We're doing some fun things. One thing, I don't know which of the days, but I'm going to try to put a time up on the speedrun.com leaderboard for Master Sword percent for Link to the Past. So when I tested it myself on like a basic 1.0 USA cart, not even like Japanese 1.0, which is what people usually run it on, I got 43 minutes, which world record's like 23. So my hope is to be in the 30s. I'm going to do some practice. We might do some practice things on Fridays here with me. I'm not going to have like a full setup. It'll probably just be me with the time above and we'll do splits and stuff like that, and just see where I need to improve and all that before we do the official run on there. Yeah, and then everything else we'll figure something out. Maybe we'll do some multiplayer stuff. Maybe me and Night Duck will get together for something for a stream, a co-stream or something. So we should be working on all that, and it all leads into my December 31st stream on New Year's Eve, where I ring in the new year with everyone here. Last year we did licensed games, and it's where I almost beat Jaws, which inspired me to do it as a retro roulette game earlier this year. We got to come up with a theme or something for December 31st. I'm on the fence about doing Fuser stuff, because the copyright thing always weirds me out, as much as I do love Fuser. But yeah, we'll figure out a theme for that New Year's Eve stream. But yeah, that's it. And then our streams this week, since I'm on vacation, we may have some day streams where I'm going to catch up on some Trails streams that I've had to miss the last 2 Saturdays for basically oldest niece stuff. Went up to her school twice on 2 Saturdays in a row. So was unable to play Trails, but we will play a little catch up. I might do some streams during the week. But either way, we have Mega Man 3. I'm in the Wily stages, so that should be getting finished on Monday. Tom is doing Final Fantasy 6. I think we just got the airship back. That is on Thursdays. And then Friday, I don't know if it'll be this Friday or whatever, I might start the Zelda practice. And then Saturday will be Trails. So, yeah. Yep, that's all we have here. So, that'll lead into what I've been playing. And I've just been playing Hades 2, to be completely honest with you. It has taken over my life in terms of any free time I've had. I haven't even played sports games, which there's been some really good videos that I could have been watching in the background while playing a sports game recently. But I have not been able to. I had some bad sports in real life moments this week, so I've drowned all my sorrows into killing Kronos. So I have done so, and then, like in most Hades games, it's not just one clear. So I've been through it multiple times, and now I'm going to start focusing on other things, because literally what happens is there's a point where they go, you should no longer go down and kill Kronos. You have to do something else. And I am starting on that something else. I'm trying not to spoil it. But working on all that, I got a lot of the boons already. I think I'm missing like 1 or 2 from certain people, but I got most of them. I'm trying to start a relationship with Nemesis, because I do want her to step on me. So we have that going on. I'm almost there with that, and then just finding out some little story stuff, which I'm really interested to see what the twist is in this. Because the twist at the end of Hades was pretty good. Once it turned into just a grind it out to get everything game. So I'm loving the story so far. Working on it now. I played it literally all day today because we went to Comic-Con on Friday. Me and a friend of the podcast, Kitty Ashcat, took her to her first Comic-Con. We met up with Dan and Jen there as well. And it was, a long experience in terms of, you do a lot of walking, and she was game for all of it and made me walk around a little bit more than I probably wanted to in terms of my body. But she was excited. She loved all of the cosplays. And we had a really, really good time there. My legs and body were beat on Friday. Then we went and visited oldest niece in college. Did a lot of walking around because she gave us a tour of the whole campus. It's a small school, so it's not like going to Penn State where the whole campus is like 3 miles. So we did a lot of walking there. And I just got up this morning and was just like, I am not going to do anything. And so I sat and played Hades 2 for like 7 hours today. So that's why I made a lot of progress in it, and probably going to go play it right after we're done here. Yeah, this is. I am really going to have to sit down and think about it. I might have to watch some playthroughs of Expedition 33 to sort of just jog my memory. Because Hades is going to have recency bias, of course, when it comes to Game of the Year for me. But it is definitely a two-person race for me right now. There's a couple other games that could throw a monkey wrench into the top 5, like Dispatch. Sonic Racing Crosswords could, but I don't know. Usually, racing games and stuff like that for me just fall in the 6 through 10 range. For the most part, it's very hard to get into that top level. So yeah, it looks like a two horse race for Game of the Year on my end, and I'm excited to show it off to you guys. But yeah, Hades 2, really good, really really good. I loved it so much. I was like lukewarm a little bit on the in the early access, but 1.0 has been fantastic, and I haven't wanted to put it down. To be honest, I literally had to stop to eat today. I ate breakfast when I got up, started playing Hades 2, and then went, oh crap, it's 6 o'clock. I should probably eat dinner. So, it was long, but I'm gonna report to you guys. Thumbs up, great game. So that's basically what I've been playing. This one more thing, great thing about Comic-Con. I know a bunch of you out there are parents and stuff like that. I got, not that I am, obviously I do not have children, but taking Kitty Ashcat to New York Comic-Con, I can't wait for you guys to have, those sort of experiences if your kids are really into that stuff. Because just seeing Comic-Con from like her eyes and just looking at the art and stopping to check out, all the what's they called, storyboards and stuff for the anime she loved. We stood in line, for to get a maybe it's not a convention, maybe it's something else she really loves, but just seeing it all through her eyes was real fun. She got real nervous when we were waiting in line, and a voice actor that she liked pulled up to start doing autographs. We didn't get in line for that because we didn't have time. We had to go. I had bought her a photo with someone, so we had to go and do that. But yeah, it was just 14 years old. She's in that. She understands, and loves things, has favorites, and like some obscure stuff, and really into knowing a lot about the things she loves, and it was a great time. She was great. Not that I was expecting it not to go this way, but she's very, not so much taking advantage of me, being the one that was like, hey, if you want anything to drink or eat, I'll get it for you. She was very, moderate with that. And was actually kind of upset when I like bought her, like, I added on to her autograph that she got from somebody to have them take a selfie with her. It was a fun time. I'm definitely taking her back next year. I think she now knows what she's in on and can prepare a lot better. And I think she's just going to have a great time. She felt very comfortable there. And I feel like from knowing her, she's usually sometimes very nervous, has ADHD, and can get kind of little social anxiety sometimes and stuff. So it was nice seeing her opened up because these people loved the things she loved as well. She talked to all the cosplayers that she liked, told them how great their cosplay was, and they would start talking about whatever show it was. I had no idea. I never felt more like an old, out of touch person than I did standing next to her during these conversations. And it just very much felt like it was nice seeing her sort of out of her shell a little bit around something that she was very, very comfortable. And I even, I was trying to do little things like, hey, because she wanted to have her Starbucks in the morning. So I was like, hey, when we go up there, you're 14 now. We're here on your own. You're not with your parents. You have to order it. I'm not going to order it for you. You walk up, you order it. I'll pay for it. But I want you to start, you should start being able to do these things. So, yeah, it was very fun. And, yeah, I do want to take her back next year. Maybe we'll have a little bit more time with Jen and Dan. Because getting the photo and stuff sort of threw off, the hangout time. But we did hang out quite a bit. But, yeah, it was a good time. So, I was tired, as you can probably tell I am right now. So that's why I just sat on the couch and played Hades 2 all day. So, without further ado, let's move on to the news. And speaking of, I have to lead with this. This isn't like the biggest news story, but it is in my heart. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is getting a free update featuring new dungeons, enemies, and bosses. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 has officially sold 5 million copies since launch, and developer Sandfall Interactive is celebrating by teasing a unique free update that will include a new dungeon, enemies, bosses, and more. Sandfall said the update was currently in development for all platforms, but failed to specify when we might see it. We hope the update we are working on will act as a thank you to those fans for their support. Please be patient while our team works hard on bringing you something worth the wait, says creative director Guillaume Brochet, I believe is how you would say that. So, just to break down, it's going to be a new playable environment, taking the characters of Expedition 33 to a brand new location with new enemies, encounters, and surprises to discover. Challenging new boss battles for late game players to overcome. New costumes for each member of the expedition, giving even more customization options for players through their adventure. New text and UI game locations or localizations in Czech, Ukrainian, Latin American, Spanish, and Turkish, Vietnamese, Thai, and Indonesian, bringing the total number of supported languages to 19. That's a pretty good point. And plus, even more surprises. So, yeah, they shared a single image, which I think is on the screen for you guys. Let me just make sure. Yep. There. And it definitely looks like a child's room. So maybe something from, the dungeon can be from like a child's imagination or something. But I am very, very excited about this thing. I will definitely stream it when it does come out. I hope that doing New Game Plus when I did so that I could get the platinum doesn't mess with this in terms of I have to play all through New Game Plus again to get to the late game to that stuff, or if I can load an old save and just do it. So we'll see. Oh, hello Dan. Wow, indeed. Excited for this. Selfishly I want to come out by the end of the year, but I could definitely see it being an early next year thing, or even later than that. Alright, and next up, Battlefield 6 gets off to a huge start on Steam with over 740,000 concurrent players just hours after launch. Battlefield 6 has an enormous start on Steam with over 74,000 740,000 concurrent players. At the time of the article's publication, which was on Friday, Battlefield 6 had 747,440 concurrent players on Steam. That's enough to make EA's new first-person shooter the second most played game on Valve's platform, behind only Counter-Strike 2. Battlefield 6 is already the 14th most played game ever on Steam, and Larian's Baldur's Gate 3 in its sights. For context, Battlefield 6 Open Beta hit a peak concurrent player count of 521,079. No other Battlefield game has ever come close to these numbers on Steam before. Indeed, Battlefield 6 already has more players than EA's previous Steam record holder, the free-to-play Apex Legends, which makes the $70 Battlefield 6's achievement all the more impressive. And if you're wondering, the Call of Duty app, which encompasses all Call of Duty games, has a peak concurrent player count of 491,670 on Steam, which means Battlefield 6 is well on its way to doubling the record set by its FPS rival. The true concurrent player count will be much higher when you consider players on PlayStation and Xbox, but neither Sony nor Microsoft make those numbers public. So great start for Battlefield 6. I think we have a story later about Call of Duty that may be the reason these numbers are better. But yeah, everything I've seen from Battlefield has made me think of, possibly getting Battlefield 6 instead of playing Call of Duty's multiplayer for the 3 to 4 months that I play it before I put it down. Because I'm definitely not thinking of picking up Call of Duty. I think I had the story later, for something they did. But yeah, this looks like it's going to shape up to be a good one for EA here, and might actually give people an alternative, so they're not stuck in the Call of Duty ecosystem. So we'll see what happens, see if this drops off. We've had some really high concurrent numbers for things before, and then things sort of drop off as, multiplayer gets too hard, and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens, but good start there for Battlefield 6. Next up, on some frustrating news, Assassin's Creed, set during post-Civil War period, canceled last year due to increasing concerns over U.S. political climate. And also the negative backlash to Black Samurai Yasuke, also a factor. Ubisoft allegedly scrapped early plans for an Assassin's Creed game set during the U.S. post-Civil War period, a report has claimed, with the decision made primarily due to the anxiety surrounding the country's current political climate. GameFile reported on the previously unknown project's cancellation and stated that Ubisoft ultimately decided to walk away from its plans in July 2024 amid increasing political tensions in the U.S. and after a strong backlash to the reveal of Assassin's Creed Shadows' Crow protagonist Yasuke, a historically black samurai. The unnamed project was also planned to feature a black protagonist, a former slave from the South who would join the assassins and fight the Ku Klux Klan. While in the concept phase, early work had been greenlit by Ubisoft bosses in Paris and was underway at Assassin's Creed Shadows development studio Ubisoft Quebec. Set during the U.S. Reconstruction period, the game's story would naturally have dealt with issues such as the rights of former black slaves, racial violence, and the fallout from the assassination of U.S. President Abraham Lincoln. Several flashback sequences were also planned to be set during the Civil War itself. Word of the decision filtered through the company last summer, just days after the attempted assassination of Trump in Pennsylvania, though was not directly connected to the event, the report says. Sources told GameFile that the idea behind the game had to be show how racial tensions can be used to control society. Instead, in a source's words, this is poorly written, Ubisoft ultimately decided the project was too political and in a country too unstable. So, yeah, so we're at the point in this country where we can't even make games about killing objectively bad people in the Ku Klux Klan. We're just worried about that being a giant backlash. What's next? We're not going to be able to release Wolfenstein so we can go kill Nazis because it might piss off somebody in America. Yeah, it's just getting frustrating right now because things that have objectively been, fun. Fun is probably a bad word, but like things that everybody looked forward to doing, like World War II shooters, um, would were so popular because of it, and even Mafia 3 um, was very much dealt with the same things, but a little bit later in the 1960s. And then, even Red Dead Redemption 2 had the whole side story where you could go interrupt a clan meeting and kill everyone involved. But yeah, Ubisoft has done this before. They backed off of the political leanings of Far Cry 5. That was supposed to be like a, very religious cult sort of idea during, I think, the last Trump administration. So, no surprise they're doing it here. They are cowards over at Ubisoft. And this would have been a pretty cool game. As a person who studied history, U.S. history, as part of 2 college classes for my Gen Ed credits, this would have been a great period of time, just like the American Revolution was. But they could have gotten more political there, but obviously people don't want to do that. But this would have been a perfect time to have, the assassins getting involved in American life. So, yeah. Disappointing. Would have been an Assassin's Creed game I would have enjoyed to see, all the historical figures, and how they would have addressed them. But, yeah. We're not going to see it because there's too many crybabies in this country. Moving on. Bethesda announces Fallout Day broadcast for October 23rd. And this thing says, but are any megatons planned? Bethesda has announced a showcase for its annual Fallout Day on October 23rd. October 23rd, 2077 is, of course, the day in the Fallout timeline the bombs fell, sparking the Great War that caused the irradiated wasteland fans of the franchise have been playing. The Great War that caused the irradiated wasteland fans of the franchise have been playing it over the last few decades. Jesus, that's a poorly written sentence. The Fallout Day broadcast will stream live on October 23rd at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UK, with the Fallout for Hope post-show following immediately after. In a statement, Bethesda said fans can expect the latest news about our existing Fallout games, community celebrations, and upcoming fan events. There was no specific news about upcoming games, but fans are already wondering what the company might have Fallout related up its sleeve. There's all sorts of rumors floating around about potential Fallout remakes now that Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion is out the door. Fallout 3 was remastered. Fallout 3 Remastered was leaked back in 2023, but those plans have changed. And we know Bethesda plans to eventually get to a Fallout 5 after the Elder Scrolls 6. Perhaps it's more likely that we'll get further updates on Fallout 76, which just announced the upcoming Burning Springs update, the addition of the Ghoul from Prime Video's Fallout TV show, featuring the likeness and voice work from Walter Goggins himself. It's also worth noting that Season 2 of Fallout, which is set in New Vegas, is due out this December, so maybe we'll get a new trailer or images. Yeah, so it will be interesting to see exactly what we get on Fallout Day here. I'm thinking it's leaning more towards, like they said, Fallout 76 stuff in the TV show, because that's the stuff more, like Fallout 76 is still ongoing, and you have the TV show coming up. I don't think they're going to announce a Fallout 5 until after Elder Scrolls 6 is at least announced with a release date. There's always the chance of the remaster for 3 or even New Vegas to match up with the TV show. But yeah, we can hope. But yeah, we'll have to wait until October 23rd and see what Bethesda does. But yeah, either way, I think it'll be, they're very, they kind of sort of an idea when they set these big announcements. They at least have a plan in place. Whether that plan is good or not is always, up in the air. But it will definitely have a theme. The announcement here. Next up, this was the thing that I was mentioning during Battlefield 6. Call of Duty's, I guess that's skill-based matchmaking. Critics celebrate victory after Treyarch confirms open matchmaking as the default for Black Ops 7 multiplayer at launch and even persistent lobbies. Treyarch has confirmed a number of significant changes for Call of Duty Black Ops 7 multiplayer that will make it into the game for launch. In a blog post, Treyarch said learnings from the Black Ops 7 beta had informed the changes, which are sure to go down well with Call of Duty's hardcore community. The headline here is an update on how matchmaking will work in Black Ops 7, with the surprise confirmation that at launch, open matchmaking with minimal skill consideration will be the default for Black Ops 7 multiplayer. Simply put, this is from Treyarch. Simply put, imagine the matchmaking experience of open mosh pit from the beta, but as the standard Black Ops on day one. This is a huge change from what we've come to expect from Call of Duty multiplayer, which currently leans on controversial skill-based matchmaking by default. So essentially, this is what I meant by saying I might lean towards Battlefield 6. I don't know if they have skill-based matchmaking, but this is mainly the only reason I have fun playing Call of Duty. Was because they basically implemented this kind of skill-based matchmaking. I don't know. I would like to not get my ass handed to me every time I turn on the game. I'm already bad enough at it. It'll just discourage me from playing the game. I don't mind losing. Obviously, you've seen me stream the game. But the idea of, just going in there and knowing that there might be a bunch of high-skilled guys just going in there just to, rank up their stats on people like me, doesn't make it sound like fun for me. I could be wrong and I could notice no difference in the game, but the idea that I started to have fun and enjoy Call of Duty multiplayers after they implemented it just might be confirmation bias on my end, or something like that. But yeah, I can see both the point that Night Duck makes there, but it also feels like a bunch of this is professionals and high-level players just wanting to have easy KD games because they get matched in with a bunch of noobs. And, they hate it just playing against people that could actually make their KD rates look bad. But, like I said, it could also be a very biased for me in a situation where I can't dedicate my life every day to playing the game to get better, to have a good experience, in the game. But, like I said, it might turn out to be fine. Who knows? I bounced off multiplayer Call of Duties a lot before 2019. So, yeah, I know. But, yeah, like I said, the evidence on my end from me playing is I had, I stuck with it longer once this was introduced. So, maybe. And, yeah, okay. I believe you because you've played a lot more of these than I have played, Night Duck. So, we'll see. I'll try it out when it comes out. And if I just feel like, sometimes I just want to sit down and, play a little bit, maybe get my 0.5 KD. I'd rather not jump into a game and have a 0.1 KD, and feel like I'm wasting my time. But, like I said, skill issue, probably get good, all that stuff that we joke about with it. But yeah, 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 like I said, I've only really played Call of Duty multiplayer with skill-based matchmaking as the default. So, I've never played it really without it. And, we'll see. Yeah, it'll be a good experiment to try. If it turns out to be just, people trying to rank up their battle passes by going in and getting a lot of kills against noobs, then they might need to put it back on or some modified version of it. But yeah, the only thing I point to, and maybe X Defiant wasn't a good game, is that X Defiant also did this, from what I remember, and that game lost a lot of players after the first couple weeks. So, yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Yeah, I'm always willing to admit I'm wrong here, so I'm still going to give it a try, but yeah, we'll see. Next up, surprise, surprise. Discord confirms over 70,000 users affected by customer service hack that has compromised images of government-issued IDs like driver's license and passports. Who knew that this could happen when you start mandating the age gate thing by making people show their IDs and take photos of their ID, passport, anything, and send them into a company? Who knew that these would get hacked and stolen by people on the web? Who knew? So, 70,000 Discord users may have had their government ID photos compromised following a cyber attack on one of its third-party vendors. As part of the company's legal obligation to comply with the UK government's new Online Safety Act and the EU's Digital Services Act, Discord, which boasts over 200 million users worldwide, required users to confirm their ages through a third-party agency called 5CA. While different platforms use different authorization methods, some require a photo of government-issued ID, such as a driver's license or a passport, to prove a user's age. It's these scans from users who had been in touch with Discord's customer service team that have been compromised. While Discord initially told us that a limited number of users have been impacted, a further update yesterday revealed approximately 70,000 users have had their government ID photos exposed, which our vendor used to review age-related appeals. So the information that possibly leaked include name, Discord username, email, and other contact details it provided to Discord customer service, limited billing information such as payment type, the last 4 digits of your credit card, and purchase history if associated to your account, IP address, messages with our customer service agents, limited corporate data, training materials, internal presentations. The unauthorized party also gained access to a small number of government-issued IDs. Yeah, so I'm all for figuring out a way for kids to not run into pedophiles on the internet and all that. But maybe it's just the skeptic and cynic in me, but the idea of sending your ID with your information from, the government to a third-party, authenticator, always seemed like it could end up being a bad idea. And I'm not sitting here saying I have an answer for what they're trying to do. I don't really know how else you can do, like, the age gate things of, you go to websites and it goes, are you 18? Yes. Okay. And then they let you in. Like, no other verification needed. Or the ones where they, ask you your birth date and you can put in, like, January 1st, 1900, and it'll let you in. There's got to be some kind of middle between giving your personal information, including ID, driver's license number, possible passport number, all of that sensitive information over here to just having people click a button and can lie their ass off. There has to be somewhere here to stop like 13-year-olds from being recruited by, you know, predators online. And I'm not even talking like, I know I mentioned pedophiles before, but I'm not even talking like, yeah, exactly, Night Duck. And that's the other step to get to, is that it can also be used to harass queer people, too. Yeah, that's the other end of it. You know, you have the, you know, yeah, and it doesn't really stop predators anyway. Like, and I'm not even talking about, like, I mean, you can have the normal, like, sexual idea of, you know, luring kids for sexual acts, but you could also have people out there who take advantage of kids and scam money from them, their parents' credit cards, and, you know, more white-collar crimes and stuff like that. You know, you want to stop that from happening as well. And so going to IDs for the people that are legal, you know, leads into step problem number 2, which Jonathan mentions in the chat. You know, the goal is either for the people will sell that information for money, or they will use it to, as I said, harass queer people. And having all those IDs and personal information, it's wild. All my life growing up on the internet, it was like, never give your personal information over the internet. And now governments are requiring users to do it. It's just wild. So this story, no surprise that it happened. Shocked that people stole this information. Can't wait for the big hack that's going to happen on Roblox with their policy, because I'm sure their systems are tight. All right, moving on to better news. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle added fresh ending, unlocked if you finish New Game Plus. As a special update for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, a special update for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will add an additional scene to the game's ending, as well as a New Game Plus option. The update is due tomorrow, October 10th, on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and comes in celebration of Developer Machine Games' 15-year anniversary. In a video below, which you can watch on IGN's website, Machine Games production director John Jennings said the update was designed to address several key pieces of feedback from fans of the highly acclaimed game. A New Game Plus option has been much requested, and as of tomorrow will allow you to replay the game with your previously found adventure books unlocked, as well as any unredeemed adventure points. Medicine bottles and local currency. I thought that was a period. It was a comma. It's a timely addition too, as it will allow you to replay the full game, including its Order of the Giants DLC, if you own that, wrapped into the game's wider Vatican City portion. The game mode has some all-new content too, including additional scene found when you've beaten New Game Plus. You'll discover a brand new ending sequence following the credits, Jennings tease, revealing nothing more of what it might entail. That's a pretty cool thing to add. You know, for people that play through the game, maybe get them back into it. Maybe get people to buy the DLC to add in there. Yeah, this might make me jump back into it and maybe buy the DLC. So good on you, Machine Games. It's a good idea. And then after the week Microsoft had, you'd be forgiven for believing a rumor that Xbox had canceled its next-gen hardware plans, but the company insists that it is false. Microsoft has issued a statement insisting it remains committed to Xbox consoles after a fresh rumor that it planned to exit the hardware space. The rumor emerged from an alleged insider who claimed Microsoft's Xbox hardware plans had become less sure, and the future of Xbox was software publishing, a common suggestion on social media and forums. But Microsoft issued a statement over the weekend, countering the rumor, telling Windows Central, "We are actively investing in our future first-party console and device designs engineered and built by Xbox." The rumor came after a bruising week in which the company was heavily criticized for raising the price of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate from $19.99 a month to $29.99 a month. Microsoft also ditched the discount for DLCs for Game Pass subscribers in favor of a rewards point system. Yeah, so essentially, as much as Xbox is saying this, I very much think both statements might be true. Xbox is probably doing one more hardware launch, and then I think they're going to transition into publishing. Because I think they're too far down the road of hardware that they're like, hey, we already spent all this money on R&D. Let's just finish this up, get this out the door, and then we can transition from there. So I think both of these statements can be true, and I think they are true. But we'll just see what happens over the next 4 or 5 years here to see if they both do come true. And one, that Xbox isn't out of the hardware game right now, but also they will be getting out of it. And finally, Microsoft makes first Xbox Game Pass lineup announcement since raising the price of Ultimate. So the first wave on October 8th, again, these games are already out. Supermarket Simulator is on Ultimate, Premium, and PC Game Pass. Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Editions on Ultimate and Game Pass. The Casting of Frank Stone, Ultimate, Premium, and PC Game Pass. Ballcross Pit on October 15th. Game Pass Ultimate, PC Game Pass. The Grinch Christmas Adventures, Ultimate, Premium, and PC Game Pass. Eternal Strands with Premium. He is Coming with Premium. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black now is also on Premium. It was on Ultimate. PAX Die or D is Ultimate, Premium, and PC. Keeper is Ultimate and PC. Evil West is Ultimate, Premium, and PC. And Ninja Gaiden 4 will be Ultimate and PC Game Pass. Meanwhile, leaving Xbox is Cocoon, Core Keeper, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed. So once again, before we finish here, Microsoft is still part of the BDS boycott. So if you are following that boycott, they are still under it. So do as you will. So none of those games really jump out at me as reasons to keep it for $30. Like I said, I'm staying through the month of October because they, didn't raise the price, and make a decision on $30 after that. Probably going to stop, but yeah, I need to. As I was talking with Night Duck about it last time I saw him, part of it is also talking to Kitty Ashcat about her video game playing, so that we know what to do. Yeah, so I fear this is just going to go back to not having any of these services and just buying the basic stuff. So, yeah. So I think that'll do it. Thank you guys for joining me. I was losing my voice a little bit. I've got to get those streamer muscles back in. I've only been doing like 1 or 2 streams a week, so the vocal cords not working as well. So to recap, we will be here tonight if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it for Mega Man 3, probably the end of it. Worst case, I'm back next week with it. Or actually, skip that. Metal Militia wasn't here to remind me. Next week is him playing the Retro Roulette game for Game Club for the Podcast Prime. So not me tomorrow, which means more Hades 2 time for your boy. So maybe I'll play Mega Man at some point anyway, since I am on vacation. But anyway, Thursday is Tom with Final Fantasy VI. Friday, I might start my training for Master Sword Percent for A Link to the Past speedrun. Saturday is Trails. And then sometime during the week, maybe during the day, I know everybody else works, I'm on vacation, I might catch up with a Trail stream or two. So be on the lookout for that. And then Sunday we'll be back with the news hour. And then also, remember that we are doing Extra Life. It is our 10th year, raising money for the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Thank you, everyone that has donated already. Our big day is Extra Life Day on Saturday, November 8th. It's going to start at 8 a.m. now. I have to change the website since I will be leaving at 10:30 a.m. to go do my second job as a scoreboard operator for a college basketball team. Tom will be filling in the time that I'm not available, and then when I get back, I'm going to take over until I cannot stream anymore. So we're looking anywhere between like midnight and 4 a.m., depending on how awake I am for that. So be on the lookout. And then the rest of November and December will be streaming every Saturday. One thing is locked in. One of those Saturdays is going to be me putting my official run that we will put up on speedrun.com for Master Percent Run for A Link to the Past. And then we will see. That'll be fun. There might be other things. Me and Jonathan might chat about doing something together. We have the get-together in-person one that we're still trying to work out the details. I'm trying to nail down a time. It might not end up working out, but I'm trying to nail down a Saturday for me and Jen to play some Split Fiction. But that may or may not happen, so no guarantees on that. But we will be here every Saturday outside of the normal Trails schedule, kind of like what we did last year for Return Nights, where I did Return Nights at its regular time, but then I streamed before that. That is probably what we're going to do this year. Yeah, check us out on social media. If you have any questions, you can jump in the Discord and ask anything there. So thank you guys for joining me. It has been fun as always. And we'll see you next time. Bye!